I know everybody in life has their ups and downs, their good days and bad days. But recently, I've been struggling with some health stuff, and I thought I would just share it with you guys. So that's what we're going to talk about in this episode of the Range Minded Podcast, episode 251, The Health Scare. Stay tuned. All right, gang, welcome back to the Range Minded Podcast. As usual, it's your host, Steve. And from that little intro you just listened to, hopefully you listened to anyways, that's right. I've been dealing with some health issues, honestly, since GunCon. And I know I've probably alluded to them in the last couple of episodes of things that I've been dealing with. You can probably sound my voice doesn't sound quite the same. It is getting a little bit better, but there was some other issues that had accompanied with it, and it's been frustrating. It's been really frustrating. I'm not going to lie to you. It's been frustrating. So let's just kind of recap it. So after GunCon, my son and I, we drove to GunCon. If you haven't listened to that episode, that's a great episode, by the way, the GunCon experience. And we drove back. Not about probably a week later, I just started developing this cough. And I didn't really think much of it. Summertime, I never really get sick in the summertime. I always get sick towards the end of the year, and I'm assuming it's the stress of the holidays and everything just kind of coming together. So that was the first thing I thought was kind of weird of me getting sick, in August or July or whatever it was. Along with that, I couldn't eat. Now I've been working on some stuff outside. I'm a carpenter by trade, so I just kind of thought, well, maybe because it's been so hot, maybe I just don't have any appetite, so I'll make sure I drink lots of fluids or whatever. So I wasn't eating. I wasn't really drinking probably as much as I should be. And then the cough. So it was like all these things started it just happened at the same time. Well, I would just work through the cough. It wasn't a big deal. 1 week goes by, 2 weeks goes by, 3 weeks go by with this nagging cough. And finally I'm like, I can't, this is stupid. Now, one thing I didn't tell my wife during this time is sometimes while I was coughing, so I'll play video games once in a while, not very often. Actually, this whole time being sick, I haven't really played video games. It's kind of weird. So sometimes when I was playing video games, just kind of unwind from the work day, late at night, I would pass out. I didn't tell my wife these things. I'd be in the middle of playing Red Dead Redemption, and then all of a sudden I would come to, and it would take me a second to register where I was, and I started to realize that this cough is more than just a cough, because I knew that those pass out spells, or blackout spells, fainting, whatever, I knew that was associated with the cough, because I'd start coughing, and then the breaker would trip. A few seconds later, I'd come back, and I just I just brush it off, right? Probably not the best idea. So as time goes by, and it didn't happen all the time. Like, it wasn't like every time I cough, I pass out. It wasn't that. It was just like a certain kind of cough would induce a pass out. It was kind of weird. I don't know how to explain it. And maybe some of you guys have experienced this. And so between passing out during video games, or I'd come down here and maybe do a podcast episode or something, and same thing, something happened, I just kind of pass out real quick. I just not tell anybody and just keep going, because I'm a dude, right? Dudes don't tell other people their problems, except for right now you're listening to my problems. So as time circulates on, I just kind of deal with it. I don't say anything. I try to just pay attention when I'm going to cough, and I try to suppress the cough as much as possible, because I kind of figured out that the cough and the fainting are associated in some way. Anyway, a few days go by. We were at a neighbor's house at a party. Everybody was having a good time. We're having fun. I'm sitting at their bar, at the bar stool there in the kitchen, and I'm eating a cookie. And literally the next thing I remember, people are like trying to save me. I'm on the floor, and like people are all around me. I had no idea that I passed out. I didn't know I coughed. Nothing. I had no clue about what happened, other than I'm on the floor, and people are around me. So I tried to be the tough guy. I tried to just play it off. And by the way, I fell off of the bar stool, right? Hit my head on the tile floor. I hit it really hard. I didn't split my head open or anything, but I hit it really, really hard. Like, I could tell I hit that floor super hard. My shoulder hurt. My elbow hurt. My whole left side of my face hurt. It ended up getting a huge old goose egg on the side of my head. But I'm just trying to play it off, right? Like, I didn't want to. I was really embarrassed, really, honestly, at the party that something like this would happen at the party. I didn't want to be the focus of the attention. It wasn't my party. I just wanted to be. Just try to play it off. But down deep inside, I'm like, this probably isn't good. Luckily, I have a really good relationship with our family doctor. So we're texting back and forth. I said, "Hey doc, this just happened." Well, I guess in the meantime, I did go to the doctor in the meantime. They gave me some cough suppressants. They kind of knew, because I did tell them that we were fainting before, but the extent of that pass out at the party, we'll call it the party pass out, I hadn't been that way. So, and I'd been to the doctor's office. I forgot that part to tell you. I had gone to the doctor's office. I think it was like that previous. So the party pass out was on a Wednesday. I want to say I went to the doctor on a Friday, the previous Friday. Family doctor was out, but the nurses gave me a bunch of stuff. We talked a lot, and they gave me some cough suppressants and stuff, because I did mention that I had some of the video game pass outs. But by that Wednesday night, I texted the doc and I said, "Look, this might be worse than what we're thinking, doc. I just passed out. I hit my head really hard, and I didn't even know what happened." So after a few messages back and forth, he says, "Steve, you need to go to the ER. Just go to the ER." And so, yay. So we did. By the way, this whole time, I hate hospitals, just so you guys know. I hate medication. I hate hospitals. I don't know. I don't hate doctors. I think doctors are good when they're trying to help people. It just seems like every experience I have in a hospital is a negative one. Other than my kids being born. So, I don't know. I just hate the way hospitals feel. And I'm sure some of you guys can relate with that. So anyway, in this meantime, doctor says, "Guess what? You're not driving ever again." That was what it felt like. Anyway, so my wife, we go to the ER. First of all, the hospital's under construction here in Idaho Falls, and it's ridiculous. It's stupid trying to find a place to go. So we went to the wrong emergency. It says emergency on the window, but yeah, apparently it was the wrong emergency entrance, I guess. So we pull up there, and the emergency nurses were really cool, actually. They were a lot of fun. In fact, we had a lot of good conversations about self-defense and self-defense tools, and it was good. It was actually a good experience. And when I get a little nervous or scared, my defense mechanism is humor. So we had a lot of jokes and had a good time, because I knew sometimes being in emergency room is probably not the funnest. So I tried to give them the best experience possible. We had a good time. It was fun. So at the hospital, at the ER, obviously they draw my blood, which I hate. I hate needles with a passion. But I was a big boy. I didn't even pass out when they pulled a bunch of blood out of me. And obviously they checked for every possible thing it could be. They checked for COVID. They checked for every malaria. I don't know. They took a ton of blood, and they ran, I think, every possible test they could think of, and they all came back negative. Like, no COVID, no whatever. None of whatever it was is what it was, right? They just, the test came back negative. They weren't sure how or what the cough was from. They still don't know if it's viral or fungal or whatever. They don't know. I told them it was because the hotel I stayed at on the way to GunCon, but they laughed at me. They thought I was joking about that one, but I was actually very serious on that one. They did some chest x-rays. We hooked up the EKG. I got a CAT scan, like a whole bunch of stuff. They ran all sorts of tests that first night. And everything came back like a normal, healthy-ish 45-year-old dude. But the doctor, I happened to, the ER doctor was in there. They were going to send me home. Like, we can't find anything wrong with you there. I don't know if there's anything wrong with you. Obviously, there's something wrong with me, doc. I passed out and hit my head. He was just going to send me home, and then all of a sudden, I passed out in front of him, and I remember coming to, and the look on his face was priceless, actually. He realized that I wasn't full of shit, that there's something wrong. And he's like, well, I think we'll keep you in the hospital tonight. Well, gee, thanks, doc. That's probably a good idea, considering I told you there's something wrong and I don't know what it is. His face was actually pretty funny. For an ER doc, it was like he's never seen anybody do this before. And actually, it sounded like he'd never seen anybody with whatever I have before like that. So we spent the night in the hospital. First night in the hospital. Again, they had my heart hooked up to the heart monitor. Nothing was really crazy. I probably did pass out a couple times. Honestly, I don't remember. I probably did pass out a couple times that first night in the hospital. And let's see, my dogs are, I don't know if you can hear my dogs or not, but we're going to keep going. So I got to speed it up too. This story is going to take too long. Needless to say, they ran all the tests they need to run. What do they call that when they, like when they do the babies, they image the babies, the same kind of thing. I can't think of the word. They did the same thing to my heart, and everything was fine. There was nothing wrong with my heart. There's nothing wrong with my lungs, other than whatever fluid was in the lungs. Everything is fine. Like, they couldn't find anything wrong with me, which, honestly, I spent 2 or 3 days in the hospital. Honestly, that time period, I was like, at least tell me there's like cancer. I don't care. Give me some answers, because I would rather have some kind of answer than no answer whatsoever. I was really, really, really frustrated. And my wife was really frustrated. She's a saint. She's an amazing woman, by the way. So, I don't know if you guys have ever really spent time in the hospital. You're hooked up to the fluids. By the way, I was really dehydrated that first night. They stuck like, I think it was like 3.5 liters of fluid in my veins because I was really dehydrated, which didn't help the situation. Plus, I already have my blood pressure is always high anyways, so that was kind of freaking them out. So between dehydration, high blood pressure, and random passing out spells, I was a fun patient. Anyways, like I was saying, in the hospital, this is gonna be a little personal for you guys, but it's all pertinent part of the story. Because I'm hooked up to all these machines and tubes and everything, taking care of business is a little bit, if you know what I mean, is a little bit more difficult. So they give you a jug basically, so you just do what you got to do in the jug type of thing. But that day 2, morning 2, I think I felt really good. I was like, man, I think we're going to go home. It's going to be nice. The nurses were coming in and says, look, can I just have to go to the bathroom. I have to, like, I don't want to pee in a jug anymore. And the nurses were sure, let's go for it. I think you're okay. And I felt great. I did. I felt fantastic. So I get up, I make my way to the bathroom. There's 2 nurses close by. They hadn't walked out of the room yet, but they probably felt like, well, let's just double check. Well, I didn't even make it all the way into the bathroom and passed out, and I hit the ground exceptionally hard. I don't know if you know, like in the showers in those bathrooms, they have the little shower seats and stuff that fold down so you can wash yourself in those hospital bathrooms. Well, I'd fallen backwards into one of those folding chairs and made it. It was bad. Like, I don't think it necessarily drew blood, but it definitely took skin off my back. And anyway, long story short, I stayed the night as a fall risk in the hospital, which makes me feel so good that a dude that is very independent and always has been kind of stuck in almost felt like caged, right? Like I couldn't be trusted. Very emasculating, I guess is the best way to put it. Very independent dude that's always been independent since a child, and I can't even take care of the basic necessities of human life. Very frustrating. Anyways, as this time has progressed, like I said, I got to speed up this story because there's still so much left. So I get out of the hospital. Finally, I spent another night after that one. I think that was my last night in the hospital. They were really worried that I'm guessing they thought I was going to sue the hospital. So I don't know. It didn't matter. It wasn't their fault. I passed out. We get home. I talk to my doctor. I'm on a myriad of medications. Most of them pretty mild, like Mucinex and heartburn pill, because they kind of think the fluid may be aspirated because of my heartburn or acid reflux, right? So if you got acid reflux, dude, you got to take care of it because it can cause problems. If that's what the problem was from the fluid in my lungs, then it was definitely preventable. But they still don't know for sure. But like right now, as I'm recording the show, it's the 15th of August. Like they have me on this I still can't drive. I'm not allowed to drive anywhere. I can't go to work because I might pass out. You can imagine driving down the road or something and passing out, or using a power tool and passing out. Obviously, that it's just not an option right now. So they have right now they have me on this medication that's actually used, I think he said, for stroke victims. I don't have a stroke. I'm not having a stroke. I don't think I have a stroke or susceptible to a stroke. But it's to help help the communication between the nerves and the brain is really what it boils down to. Because what they're believing is the cough induces some kind of a nervous reaction between either the heart or the vagal nerve, and it trips that breaker, and I go out. As of today, as the 15th of August, it's 2:00 p.m. as I'm recording this show. I haven't passed out today. I did pass out last night, which sucks, but it is what it is. But as of today, now this medication makes me feel super funky, super weird. I don't even know if what I'm saying makes any sense. I'm not lying to you. This medication makes me feel really weird. I really don't know if I'm even speaking coherent sentences. But as of right now, everything is fine-ish, I guess. Why do I want to share this story with you? First of all, because you're my friends. And I want you guys to know. Even though I don't see your faces when you're listening or watching, you guys are my friends, and I need to be a better friend to my friends. Because I've been unable to work, I'm under a lot of stress. So, take that for what it is. I'm not suicidal or anything. Don't think I'm going to self-harm or anything. That's not what it is. Just if you guys have ever been out of work with a lot of hospital bills coming due, you understand what I mean when I'm under stress. That's what I mean. If you have ways to help, that'd be great. Honestly, you don't have to. I'm not asking for money. I'm not begging for money. If you want to help, that's cool. If not, that's cool. I did set up, and I talked about it before. I set up some sort of a GoFundMe for the podcast because I need to update equipment. I want to update some equipment, and that was the purpose of that GoFundMe. So that's available if you feel like it. Anyways, that's the show. That's just a short show. I just thought I'd bring it up to you guys. Let you know that I love you. I care about you. And that freedom isn't free. And sometimes we have to be humble and teachable too. Love you guys. Thanks for watching.